I'd like to thank everyone for coming. My name is Paul Fannin. I'm the Director of Marketing for the Better Health Association. This presentation will cover the tactical plan for the marketing department. We're going to examine why is there a need for a new plan, the management process, and outlook. First thing is, why is there a need for a new plan? Well, the director is implementing a new strategic plan. In this plan, the marketing department has been asked to serve as a community liaison while managing all communication strategies for better health. We need to reduce the marketing budget by 60% over the next 3 years. We also need to establish a marketing board. Also, we've been asked to do more or the same amount of marketing with less money. Finally, we need to increase our amount of pro bono work. As you can see, these present some big challenges. The tactical plan on the following slides outlines a clear path to achieve these things that we've been asked to do. I feel it's important to review the mission and vision because the entire plan is meant to align with them. It is the mission of Better Health Association to promote and provide health awareness and training across the country to improve quality of life, providing information and resources within the communities to make this possible. The vision is, it is the vision of Better Health Association to become the go-to source for information, education, and resources regarding a healthy lifestyle within the community and business world to establish a healthier future. As I stated, this was created with these two statements in mind. The first step in the management process is planning. First thing I did was conduct a SWOT analysis to see where we stood. Our strengths were identified as we're already established within the community, we have a strong social media presence, we have a board of directors to give input, we have support from other departments. Weaknesses were identified as a cut in funding, a cut in staffing, and the unfamiliarity of a new director. Externally speaking, opportunities were identified as labor donation, pro bono work, internships, TV publicity, and the possibility of grants. The threats were self-help practices and the new government-required healthcare programs. I've also established 6 SMART goals for accountability for the marketing department. They are reducing the budget $200,000 each year for the next 3 years, increase overall marketing 20% within 1 year, increase pro bono marketing work 50% within 6 months, establishing a marketing advisory board within 30 days while increasing volunteer and other departmental support, and establishing a justifiable growth plan to meet future needs within 18 months. The next step is leading. Initially, this will include an employee assessment utilizing interviews, evaluations, and monitoring just to ensure that we have the right people for the right jobs and identify any areas where adjustment is needed. We're also going to use performance metrics to ensure the employees are meeting these requirements. Motivation is a bit tricky because there's a clear difference between paid employees and volunteers. But I think if we use Herzberg's two-factor theory, we're going to be able to determine what does and does not make them happy. We can then use this information for motivation. This plan will allow for the use of a cross-functional team where we've got specialists from different departments and volunteers with different backgrounds, all working towards a common goal. I think this is going to be a big benefit. As the leader, it's going to be important to maintain functional conflict, which benefits better health. But anytime harmful conflict arises, it's going to be very important to extinguish that immediately. Finally, a combination of transactional and transformational leader is going to be the most beneficial. Using reward and punishment while pushing focus on the big picture is going to be a key to success. The next step is organize. Currently, the organization will be classified as a clan culture, basically meaning that we're all collaborating to accomplish the mission and vision of better health. But these changes are sure to affect the culture. Anytime downsizing or budgets are faced, it's sure to produce fear and doubt. It's going to be important to focus on the good we do for the community. We also need to make sure that we have HR on board. They're going to be needed to help find the volunteers. They should also be available to address any types of concerns, handle the training that needs to be done, and handle the compensation and benefits as well. We're going to be trying to use proactive change, where we try to anticipate the problems before they happen. Finally, with any change, there's always resistance. I feel the use of a change agent would make things easier by giving the employees someone to answer questions and just translate to them what actually is going on. We're also going to try to use Lewin's change model to combat this resistance. First, we're going to unfreeze, where we convince the employees that there absolutely has to be a change. Second, we'll be changing, where the employees are told exactly what is expected of them. Finally, we'll refreeze, where it is made clear that these new operations are now the standard. The final step of the management process is control. We're going to use measurement management in the marketing department to measure performance. The focus will be in 4 areas: financial performance, operating efficiency, employee performance, and innovation and change. The steps are going to be: establish the standards to provide a baseline, measure performance by observations, reports, etc., compare that performance to see exactly where we're at, finally take any corrective action if needed. Now, the control could be classified into 3 levels: strategic, tactical, and operational. Since we're working at a tactical level, the areas of control are physical, human, information, financial, structural, and cultural. Now, when implementing these controls, barriers can arise. The first one is too much control. We fully believe in the marketing department that employees are able to make their own decisions. This makes them feel like someone's not standing right over top of them. It makes them feel independent. The next is a low level of employee participation. We think that recognition and motivation are the answer for this. The third is overemphasis on a means instead of an ends. We're going to try to mitigate this by reasonable controls and reasonable workload. The final one is overemphasis on paperwork. The marketing department is fully committed to focusing on the product more than the paper trail leading to that product. The last thing we're going to talk about is the keys to success for control systems. The control systems must be strategic, they must be realistic, positive, understanding, and encourage self-control. They must remain flexible. Keeping all this in mind during our implementation will enable our success. Looking ahead, I want to try to accomplish these things in the next 6 months. I want to see a significant reduction in the budget, heading towards our $200,000 mark. I want to revisit our SMART goals to ensure their relevance, making sure that it's what we're still going towards. I also want to evaluate the measurement standards to make sure they're still reasonable. That means adjusting any that are too easy or may end up being out of reach. I also want to evaluate how any new means of marketing are performing. Like if we try to expand our social media market, or we're trying to put up tents at community events to get the word out, we need to evaluate to see which ones are working and which ones aren't. I also want to evaluate our workload and possibility for expansion. Hopefully we can get to the point where we're producing enough to where we can get some more employees back to make things easier on everyone. And finally, we need to take the time to make any corrections to the part of this tactical plan that isn't functioning as desired. That means if we know it's not working, we need to adjust it to benefit better health. I appreciate everyone taking the time to hear my plan and look forward to what the future holds. Thank you.